Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. I'm Ellie Frost, and on this channel we are talking about the multi-dimensional way to rapidly and radically heal and transform through and from narcissistic abuse cycles, as well as any trauma really, into our authentic power, truly fulfilled life, right? Sovereignty and authenticity on the planet, right? Because all of those things are not possible when we're still enmeshed in these dynamics. My approach is different, multidimensional, meaning spiritually, emotionally, physically, psychically and energetically. I integrate modalities across psychology, energetics, quantum physics, as well as give you an elevation of consciousness and spiritual awakening so that you can come into the truth and actually heal on all levels. Because dealing with this level of attack on just one level doesn't work. Plus, there's a lot of not understanding the root cause. So here I teach you the right tool for the right root cause and the right strategies to use, right, to start radically changing your life. Because we do pick up a lot of things during these cycles that are ways that we deal with relationships that need to change in order to us to have our best life possible, to live fully now, right? So yesterday I did a beautiful energy clearing on this channel. If you haven't seen it, go back and have a look. It's a beautiful clearing for you, right, to move your energy. And today it's Monday, happy Monday. And I feel like my mood is like, let's get back to business and you know what I mean? Let's do this. So this is going to be much more high energy, giving you some high impact information that you can put to use straight away. Even if you're not dealing with a narcissist, you need to know this, right? So this video is called Breaking the Trauma Response with the Narcissist. So the trauma response is yours, it's your trauma response, and they're the ones causing that reaction. The narcissist wants to keep you in emotional dysregulation, right? So that you're constantly reactive to them, constantly wondering what they're doing, ruminating, reactive. Before you've got time to think, why regulate, use your intuition and your mind, and come back with a more powerful response that's not being led by an emotional reaction, which is what I'm going to teach you here. So doing this well does depend on being regulated when you respond. So I've been teaching you a lot about creating the pause. The pause where you're not a human reaction, you start actually being an intentional human being, right? Being in your power, being in your sovereignty, and being intentional about how you respond. So there's a lot of tools here I talk you about, give you about how to quickly come into physical regulation, how to break psychic ties. So you start regulating your body, even if you needed to go to the restroom and take a break, right? And do those things so that you can respond powerfully if you have to. There are some times where it's better not to respond, but I'm going to go through that. So let's go through the typical trauma responses that you're going to want to respond with. So the narcissist does something to cross your boundary. Maybe they abandon you, maybe they cross a line they know they're not supposed to cross, right? In some way. It could be with anything. I mean, they spend their lives eroding your boundaries and crossing them. So the first trauma response is the fawn response. This is the people pleaser one. This is the one that's coming from the child that doesn't want to be abandoned, right? The fawn response is when we overcompensate for other people's mistakes and what they're doing to us by trying to get them to like us, by desperately trying to get them to like us, by trying to be overly nice rather than stand in the truth. Once a narcissist has done something wrong to you, yeah, maybe they've gone and spoken to someone that you've asked them not to speak to because you knew they were having an affair or you thought they were. Maybe you've got a contract with them that they've crossed. Maybe they've done something that they said they wouldn't do anymore or they know is wrong. What you'll find very often is instead of saying, you know what, I really shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I was wrong there. I really shouldn't have done it. I've made a mistake. I'm ashamed to say I've done this. I'm upset with myself. I'm going to do everything I can to make this right, which is what a healthier person would say when they have seen that they've done something that they're not supposed to do. They've crossed a boundary that they were aware of. I do teach you about you must communicate as well, boundaries with people. There's stuff on that. But we're assuming you've communicated. They know they've done something wrong. Yeah, it's not in the terms of your relationship agreement, but there's always agreements in relationships. instead of saying that, what they'll generally do is somehow use it to emotionally exploit you, really. You know? Like, look, I'm just going through a really hard time. Can't you give me a break? They'll put something on you that makes you take the attention off yourself, which is everything the narcissistic abuse cycle is trying to get you to do. So I'm teaching you all the time about being self-focused, self-partnered and self-sourcing. Take the attention off yourself is what they'll try and do and put it on them. I'm just going through a hard time. This is the time I need you on my side the most. Yeah? Totally ignoring the fact that they're the one that's just done something wrong to you. As if your needs don't matter. As if you don't need them to do their part of the deal right now. As if what you care about and who you are, your requirements that they're aware of are totally irrelevant. And then the fawn response to this, I'm going to go through all the trauma responses, the fawn response will be like, oh my gosh, I know, I really want to be there for you. I'm not wanting, I'm not trying to be tricky. It's just that I'm going to make some excuse, going to do whatever you can to fawn them, to make them still love you. Notice this. Dangerous. They know what they're doing. This is a dangerous way to behave because each time you do this, you're giving away not just your power, but your boundaries, right? You're eroding what your commitments are and letting them off the hook. That's not the way forward. That's not the way forward. So some of you might just need to pause, be aware of it. Do not fawn. Is this coming? Where's this energy coming from? A lot of people say to me, when am I ready for love again and stuff? And the first thing I teach everyone is, where energy am I coming from? What energy am I coming from? Am I in that fear of loss right now? Because the fawn is a lot of fear of abandonment issues. Am I in that fear of loss, right? Where I'm now like being highly triggered to do whatever I can to keep this person. And I'm completely abandoning myself. When you fawn, because you fear abandonment, the thing you're abandoning, the person you're abandoning is yourself. So do the energy clearing from yesterday, connect with yourself and start coming into your strength. Yeah? That's not what we want to do here. That's fawn. Fight's pretty obvious. Yeah? Apart from, again, any time you get into the trauma response with a narcissist, this is where they are siphoning the most energy because your emotionally charged reaction is like you're wide open for them to drain. You'll feel so drained after these situations. You'll feel like you can't get it out of your mind. It will siphon your energy in a way that you feel like someone's just plugged into you like a battery socket and taken. This is why you can't go with these trauma responses when you see what I'm saying and learn the tools. Fight. Now, fight isn't just physical fights, but I know sometimes that happens. Fight is also, I need to justify, validate myself. I need to be right. I need to get my point across. When you're dealing with a narcissist, yeah, soul-detached human being run by an entity of consciousness we're calling narcissism, which has very limited consciousness, they act in the same way and they don't have certain responses such as empathy, compassion, the drive to want resolution and harmony. They don't want to solve this with you. What they want is the trauma response so they can siphon your energy. So for many of my clients, they're going through legal battles, they're going through co-parenting arrangements, they're going through divorce, they're going through a lot of things, right? And they had been maybe handling it looking for resolution, harmony, what's best for the children. If it's a narcissist, they don't care about that. They care about what they want and siphoning your energy, right? So you have to understand this. Do not fight in that way. I'll teach you how to fight, but it's different, right? It's different to that. I'll get to that at the end on how I deal with that in courts and stuff with my clients where we start. But they just want to siphon your energy. They're not looking for harmony. They're not looking for resolution. The kids are always pawns, whether they're being nice to them or not. They'll use that against you and they'll leverage that to hurt the relationship you have with them. I see this on repeat pretty much every day now. So like if you're dealing with a true narcissist, you have to know your goal, your vision is different to theirs. You want resolution and what's best for everyone. They want to win at all costs and what's best for them only. That's that. Flight. The trauma response is flight is I want to get the F out of here, right? The challenge, I mean, a lot of times you need to get out of there, right? You do need to get out of there. But sometimes we can go into flight because we're giving up. And actually, it's just because we can't handle our emotions. So that's again why I do the emotional healing videos, do the psychological healing ones, and the tools I teach you. Because, you know, when it gets to the point where I'll just give you my resources, I'll give you my house, I'll give you the kids, I'll give you whatever just to make you go away. The thing is, that doesn't make the narcissist go away half the time. They want your energy. And two, I can show you something other than that. Now, sometimes you might have to use that trauma response. But when you see what you're doing, I'm not ever saying stay a second longer with a narcissist than you have to. There have been several times in my life where I had to cut my losses. I had to lose the home I just bought. I had to lose the community I just moved into. I had to lose money. I had to lose everything. I just cut my losses because that was the right thing. But knowing that from a regulated place, what I had to do and doing it was, I mean, it was very hard, but it was easier than just coming from the response, I've just got to get away and then, oh my God, what have I done? There's a way to do this regulated, and flight might be the right response, right? It might be the right response, but you want to have that pause and know you're doing it because you're going to need your strength from strength, not reaction. Yeah? Freeze. The trauma response of freeze is the one where you just can't do anything. You're stuck. You freeze, you're in a trauma response, you can't move, you can't get away, you can't stop procrastinating, you can't really think, you can't make decisions, you're totally disconnected from yourself, your power, your intuition, you just can't do anything, it's all too overwhelming. That is also a trauma response. And, you know, for a lot of us, that will be the one that we get into, just the overwhelm, head in the sand, can't look at it, right? And again, you get into regulation and then you are prepared to consciously look at things. So what I teach in resolution, especially when it's court cases and stuff, or anything with my clients, is like I get them to regulation. Secondly, what do you want? Not what do you think you can have, not what odds are against you. Always with narcissists, generally, it looks like the odds are against you, that they've got all the power and you've got none in this situation, or it's something that you need that you can't have and it's in their control. That's the general setup of what they do, because they know you're going to wake up at one point and they're going to put you in something as sticky as they can, mostly. When you are regulated, really connecting to what do I truly want, which sometimes could be, I just want to cut my losses and leave. Sometimes could be, I've had this with people where they didn't think it was possible. I don't want to co-parent. I want to find a way that I am the sole one. There's ways around most things, but your energy has to go first, right? I've created and helped my clients create miracles, and I didn't create them, I channeled them from the divine, but like there is room for miracles. I'm not saying this for everyone, I can't guarantee it, but there are more possibilities than you know, that I can guarantee. That when you're in a trauma response, you've got fixed energetic, your energy body is fixed, and your mind and your consciousness is also fixed on the problem, on a very limited possibility. You can't see past it in these responses. It's literally like this in the energy field. And when you do, like I did the figure of eights with you, like to swell your energy, to start coming into fluidity and creativity, there are more possibilities that you can't see. And the thing that triggers you being able to is get into regulation. Yeah, stepping back, being open to your intuition, your guidance system, and knowing that there's more possibilities. Just that one thing could break it for you. This trap, there are more possibilities than I can see. When I was in the most impossible situations, sick, financially, physically, you know what I mean, emotion every way, I was like, I don't know a way, but God knows a way, God knows a way, God knows a way. The whole industry couldn't heal this in the way I needed it healed fast, you know what I mean? I found a way, but that's because there was a possibility that I knew could exist in the universe, and I was available for it, right? That's how manifestation works. So you might not be able to go too far there yet, but you know if you're going around in circles, yeah, there might be another way, but the only way you're going to be open to it is to be receptive to it. And a quick road in is regulation. And then, well, if there were, what's my idea? Because when you get in touch with yourself, you get in touch with your power as well. When I've had clients say, well, I don't even want to go to court. I want to, and I'm like, well, okay, well, what's the worst that will happen? And then we find a way, and they're like, yeah, I'll do this. You can't decide what to do until you know what you really, really want. And from where you really want, then you can start moving the universe around you. You can start being an energetic match to closer to that. You can't guarantee it, no, because it's a co-creation with the divine. But it's not just the narcissist rules. It's not the narcissist way. And there's also a lot more possibility and potentiality than you know about. And it starts with that definite idea of, well, what do I want? right? What is my ideal situation? Which again, isn't coming from a trauma response, isn't coming from what they've led you to believe in fear, isn't coming from how you're measuring how much more power they and their families or whatever have over you. It's when you actually come into your truth. Yeah? What's my truth? What do I truly want? The universe will get behind you in a new way, especially if you understand what I'm teaching you. And that is something that I take my clients through all the time. So if you want to join Sovereign, right, we're opening in May. I'm going to open the doors 1st of May and official training start mid-May. When I open the doors, there's a warm-up, there's some warm-up exercises. We get together as a community and we let new people in. If you do want a payment plan, you can have one now, right, because you've got to be paid up by the time you get in. The time you access the actual materials and community, because I cannot finance you. I've learned that the hard way too. You know what I mean? I love you. I'm sure you're honest, but I'm not a finance company. So in order to access the programs, you're going to have to be paid up first, right? Either pay in full, it's $555, or get on the payment plan, right? Which once you've paid it up, then you can get into the next round of Sovereign, which honestly, I teach you all these things and so much more. So happy Monday, guys. Sending you a lot of love, a lot of strength, right? Start living your life on your terms, right? Because heart-centered people don't live on their terms at the expense of other people. We think about what's good for me and what's good for the whole. But when it comes to a narcissist, you cannot treat them like a person with empathy, compassion, or the same ideas. So what's good for you, what's good for your family, what's good for the collective is your compass, right, overall. But when it comes to them, you've got to see them for what they are, strip the emotion out once you're regulated, and treat it like, almost like, well, I mean, I run my business in a beautiful way because I work with beautiful people in my business. I don't, you know, but what people would call strictly business with them, right? You've got to be more strategic. Everything with them is a strategy. And when you communicate, it's got to be not emotionally leveraged, right? As much as you can, right? Just this awareness will help you. You're not supposed to be perfect. You get to be on the journey of it, right? Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.